You are about to enter a space of ultimate football knowledge from four guys with little to no actual football experience, except for armchair quarterbacking. Brace yourself for passion and knowledge like you have never seen. Welcome to the Football is King podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome in to the show. Man, does that just make anyone else miss our old intro before we got all copyrighted and stuff? I miss El Rey. El Rey was a banger.
Yeah, I do miss the banger right there.
I miss El Rey. I miss Shane sticking his head out the window at the Cowboys game, just singing El Rey to the random people. That was a good day.
As we watched the Lions just smash the Cowboys.
No, that game, the Cowboys won. That game was awful.
I thought the Lions won that game.
No,
the Lions-Cowboys game was when they went for it on 4th and 3, and they got the ineligible man or ineligible receiver.
Oh,
because the tackle didn't declare or whatever. Even though he obviously did.
No, I just meant the game that we were at. We watched the Cowboys play the Lions. It was a horrible game. Like, both offenses were supposed to be great, and they were both
that was
terrible.
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago when we went to the game in Dallas. But I mean,
Shane was hanging out the window singing El Rey.
Shane was singing El Rey. That guy. We were at like the top of the stadium, and that guy Uber eats the tall margarita to his chair, and he was just the oldest Santa Claus looking guy, and he had to hand his ID all the way down, and we were like, "Dude, do you see how old this guy is? He's 21. Like, let him have his margarita."
Hey, the only good thing Jerry's ever done to that place is the fact that you can order it directly to your seat.
That is great.
That's fantastic. Blake and I went to a high school game there.
Yeah. I think the soccer game, too. I was really like,
yes.
Light.
Blake and I did not get up during the USA soccer game. We were like, order beers. Let's go.
Where Jerry does fall short on that, though, is
the pricing.
Obviously, well, yeah. His stadium is clearly used for college football as well. College football sponsored by Dr. Pepper. NFL football sponsored by Pepsi. So there's Dr. Pepper signs everywhere. But if you want a Dr. Pepper in that stadium on Sunday, you can't get one.
You can't get it.
I was furious.
You also can only get Coors Light from the little delivery people, or there's one bar that has it.
That day I was having to drive back to Austin after the game. So second half, fourth quarter, needed to stop drinking beer, needed to have me a Dr. Pepper instead. Walked all the way around the stadium, and there was no Dr. Pepper. I was furious.
I think I had a pretty good buzz going when we got to the truck that day,
margaritas, those things were.
Well,
I had a
responsible driver.
Coffee bourbon slush.
For $44, you too could have one.
That is why I stopped drinking. But man, that was a great day.
There's videos of us shotgunning beers in the parking lot.
Yeah. Oh man, remember Jonathan's friend's tailgate that we searched for 4 hours?
Never found it.
Couldn't find
it. Never found the Detroit guys.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, did everyone just enjoy 5 minutes of us telling a story that no one else was a part of? I'm sure the audience loved that.
It's great.
Hey, there's 5 minutes of our lives that y'all weren't actually there for. So hopefully you fast forwarded to this, because we're going to talk about college football today. Not even the Cowboys-Lions game. Check that out for tomorrow's episode. I'm sure that's going to be a fun topic of conversation as the Lions beat the Cowboys by 30-something points. But today we're going to talk about how Ohio State is sliding down the polls.
And how Texas A&M might be the best college football team in the SEC.
I mean, yeah, but you just didn't want to appreciate the pun that we had going on there as Will Levis pulls a Dak Prescott, slides with 6 seconds left. It's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it was
good times. Dude, someone's dog is losing their mind.
Yeah, my dogs are wrestling.
We're going to talk about all the things from college football week 7 this week, and there's only one place to start, and that was all the way up in Eugene, Oregon. We had 2 versus 3. We had the new version of the Big Ten. Will the staple Ohio State Buckeyes be able to beat the Oregon Ducks? And the answer, no, because Ryan Day might be the dumbest head coach of all time, as we have said many, many times on this program.
Can we? There's one place that I feel like you just have to start and get it out of the way is I think there needs to be a rule change in sports. If someone spits on you, you are allowed to physically assault them.
No, they just need to assassinate them. They just
spitting on somebody is a preposterous thing to do.
Yeah, I mean it
spitting
doesn't.
on someone is ridiculous.
Yeah. It's gross.
Should never happen.
If you spit like I heard forget who it was, but it doesn't matter because it's the same thing. Like if you spit on me, like we fixing to have an issue. And I truly believe if you spit on someone in a football game and that person physically assaults you, they should not get a penalty.
I agree with that. I think that also there should be a multiple game suspension.
Oh yeah.
We look at all the bogus targeting calls that happen in college football where kids get suspended for a game. Give that kid a 4-game ban. Like you're gonna learn.
We don't know if he's up to date on his COVID booster. Or that, like
he lives in Oregon, so he's probably got about 17.
Yeah, he's probably up to date. So
he's up to date.
But the guy in Ohio might not.
He may have AIDS though.
I was gonna say he might be having mouth herpes or something. You don't know.
Yeah. Dude, I have done a lot of trashy things in my life out of anger. I've never spit on another human being.
I remember a kid spit on me during a soccer
I stabbed Austin with a pin, and I've never spat on anybody.
I don't even like to spit on the ground, much less spit on somebody.
Oh no, I spit all day, but I just don't spit at people.
It's gross.
That was like rule number 1 as a child, I guess, right?
No, I remember
don't spit.
I remember a kid spat on me in a game, and it got rough fast.
Yeah, that's not you.
It's safe to say I got a red card that game. That was
like you shouldn't. You shouldn't.
Yeah, but in crappy high school soccer, they don't have the ability to look at replays to know if he spit on me. It just kind of looks like I just lost my mind.
Well, that's true, but first off, his parents should be embarrassed that they raised someone that's willing to do that. But it's just there's a line that got crossed, and
I like that idea. Actually, I do like the idea that if they spit on someone, that their mom just comes out of the stands and grabs them by the ear, and like that's how they have to get dragged off the field, just like or by the face mask. Either or, they can leave.
I'm fine with that
and get dragged by the face mask, or your mom's got to show up, or whatever. It could be whatever parental figure you want.
Yeah.
And then just like dad's just like walking slowly behind him with a belt, just slapping his hand, just like ready, like it's gonna be a whooping.
It should be a multiple game suspension though.
I didn't actually follow up on that, on if the kid got suspended or anything.
No,
I hadn't seen.
He got less of a penalty than targeting?
Yeah.
That's lame. That's just lame. All right.
Sorry.
You're fine. If we're going to talk about this game and we're going to talk about the rules, we got to talk about how the fact that Dan Lanning cheated on purpose and it worked perfectly.
That was honestly,
it's not cheating. It's not against the rules.
It is against the rules to put 12 people on the field.
Yeah, but it's not against the rules to do it on purpose.
So my question is, why stop at 12? Why would you not? Why would you not put 15 people out there?
Put 20
to make sure they got it?
Yeah,
that makes sense. I just grab some extra guys and be like, hey, just go out there and act like
cover the end zone.
So two things with that. When it first happened, I was like, how the heck do you let that happen coming out of a timeout? And then I was like, when I saw what actually the result was, I was like, he did that on purpose.
Yep.
And 2, I read today they're about to outlaw that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
they're gonna make it so that's gonna be the quickest rule change in history. They're gonna make it so no time runs off the clock if you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's like one of those you can only do
2
once.
minutes if you got 12 guys on the field. Like just no, like
the clock starts over.
Here's the thing. No one would have been talking about how he did it on purpose if he didn't just blatantly say he did it on purpose.
No, everyone said immediately that he did it on purpose. The internet was a blaze of like, that was the most brilliant thing ever. It's like when the Ravens had like 10 seconds left and they had to punt, so they just held everyone for like 10 seconds and the punter just ran out of bounds. Like everyone immediately was like, all right, that was brilliant, but that needs to be outlawed immediately because they just found like a loophole.
Yeah, you shouldn't gain an advantage from committing a penalty. Ever.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if that's the game you should have brought that out on. Like that's like you reserve that for a natty.
No, that was the
that's
perfect
the game you
situation
bring
because it
it
was
out.
the biggest. It was the biggest game of the week on national TV. You had to win.
That's also
they have. I mean, Oregon is now easily in control of their destiny to win the Big Ten.
That's true.
And Ohio State just needed a field goal. They needed about 15 more yards, and they had a legit chance at a field goal.
I mean, they got into field goal range at the end. They just forgot that the clock is also important.
Yeah, which
they had a chip shot field goal to win there at the end.
Yeah, if he had gotten down 2 seconds earlier, like a smart person.
Yeah.
So that's why the penalty is perfect. It wasted just enough time.
It was genius. It was genius.
Yes.
Very smart.
But you shouldn't gain an advantage from committing a penalty.
I agree. You know who else was a genius? The internet trolls with the Will Levis Howard memes. Fantastic. It was just it was great. I love that they found a way to throw Will Levis under the bus yet again. Will Levis is just the gift that keeps on giving.
It was also a Dak Prescott moment as well.
Yes. Yeah, and Dak Prescott just fully got away from it based off my internet profile or like timeline. I didn't see any Dak Prescott hate until Sunday. Sunday I saw a ton of Dak Prescott hate, but that was completely unrelated.
Completely justifiable.
Yes. We've talked on this program a lot that Will Howard's not the guy. He's not the guy. No. Where Ohio State looked fine all year and they were beating all their crappy cupcakes teams, but that Will Howard's not going to win them a national championship because he's Will Howard. And Ryan Day also. How do you not, as a coach, coming off of that huge, I mean, the 12 person on the field just happened, but even before that, I think the play that had 12 people on the field started with 12 seconds.
Yeah.
So you're telling, and you had just taken a timeout. So you're on, hey, we're at 12 seconds left. If it's not there right away, you just got to throw it away. Like we can't, as a coach, that's where you got to be.
He might get canned after this year.
I mean, he should have got canned 2 years ago, but he's still there.
If they lose another game, which I think could happen, he'll be gone.
I don't think they'll do it in the middle of the season.
At the end of the year. If
they'll wait till the end of the year. I think he's gone regardless because I don't think they'll win a national championship this year, and I think that this was that was his one chance.
They spent $20 million on the roster.
They pushed their chips. The donors and all the higher ups pushed their chips into the middle of the table.
I just don't get how Will Howard was the best you could get at quarterback.
Yeah, I don't need.
Like for Ohio State, that seems like malpractice to me.
Unless they thought like other college teams do, where it's like we just need a guy that is serviceable. We're gonna have so
that's
much
professional football. College football, you cannot have a serviceable quarterback.
No, you got to have a guy.
College football, you got to have a star.
Here's my thing: is like Kyle McCord's having a hell of a year at Syracuse.
Okay,
I don't think he was the guy either.
At Syracuse, also, I've watched a lot of Syracuse. Because I've had some money in some of those games. There's been some games where Kyle McCord looks like absolute dog crap.
And he looks lost out there sometimes. This is another case, though. This is like Ole Miss Kentucky situation, but another team that has played no one all year. In their first tough game, they lose.
Okay, but I will say this is a different level of a tough game.
It's different because it was 2 versus 3.
Yeah, it's not like Ohio State played
Oregon's
Illinois.
A good team.
Where Illinois is a decent team out of the Big Ten, that would be their first tough game. Like they played Oregon, like that's a tough game.
I agree, but it is happening this year. An alarming trade is if you don't play no one all year, suddenly you get one hard game and you lose.
Also, Ohio State didn't look bad.
No, I walked away thinking those were potentially 2 of the 3 best teams in the nation, probably.
Yeah,
I still don't know. I still don't know how good the Big Ten is, so I don't know because it's not like Oregon's really played a ton of great talent either.
I just don't think,
and they struggled a lot.
Yeah, agreed. I don't think the top of the top group of teams are like.
There's only 2 good football teams.
Yeah, they're not separated by much,
and they're both in Texas.
Yeah,
they're about 90 minutes from each other. Those are the only 2 good football teams in college football right now.
Man, if we beat Notre Dame, that would be legit the narrative, probably.
Yeah. Wouldn't you like to have that one back?
No, I like it. As long as we don't lose again, I kind of like it.
Yeah, I actually don't mind it because it gives you something to like build on a little bit.
Well, and none of our players are snake bit right now by the media. No one's talking about us. We're just slowly making our way up the poll.
Early season losses in the works, but I will say, not to jump ahead here, but if you lose in Starkville, that's not good news.
Oh, and that's possible. Their quarterback's starting to look pretty good.
Yeah, he looked good against Georgia.
They scored 31 points against Georgia. I'm really concerned about Georgia going to Texas this weekend. I think it could be ugly. Like ugly.
I don't think it'll be ugly, but I don't know. I think if it's ugly for anyone, it's going to be ugly for Georgia. But.
No, Georgia hasn't put a whole game together once this entire season.
It's going to be ugly for Georgia in the sense that they'll be the ones taking the.
I'm
taking out on them.
That line is 3.5. I think Texas is going to win by double digits.
The only thing we're running into this with Texas too. They really, I hate to say this, 6 weeks into the season, they really have not played it.
They have not, because the OU team that they played was not a top 25 team.
And it's not even Texas's fault, because they had teams that you would think would be good, and they just aren't good.
Yeah, and I think we're going to have the same thing with Georgia.
Probably.
I think that Georgia's one of those teams that's supposed to be good, but I actually don't know if they're any good.
I really think like the parity in college football right now is it's not to 2007 levels where like Kansas was making the freaking national title practically.
Yeah.
But like the parity in college football seems to be like more. It seems more spread out.
It is 2007-esque though. There's really like only one team that can win it.
If Texas shows some sign of like weakness, then it is 2007.
Like, yeah, I'm just saying, like, we're kind of going back to like BCS era, where like at this point in the season, there's only one or two teams that can win the national championship.
Yeah, but I thought Ohio State was one of those two teams.
I still think Ohio State is one of those teams.
Nah, Will Howard sucks, and Ryan Day. I'm sorry, no, Ryan Day is gonna choke. That's so hard on a national stage.
He sucks. He's a terrible coach.
That's the big weakness to me is Ryan Day.
I don't think has Ohio State ever won a close game with Ryan Day, or do they just always lose it?
I think
they either win a blowout or they lose a close game.
I think I saw a stat they're like 1-8 against top 5 teams with Ryan Day.
Yeah. Oh, it's bad. The Ryan Day stats are not good.
9 now maybe.
All right. We can skip to the other big game, which wasn't a good game at all. We already mentioned it. The Red River rivalry was, you turned it off by halftime. It was
extreme disappointment.
It moved to my second TV at halftime.
Yeah, I think we said once Texas scored the first touchdown that the game was over because we knew that OU was never. I feel bad. I do. It's a rare moment. I am going to feel a little bad for Oklahoma. They got that poor freaking true freshman quarterback with no one to throw the ball to, just running for his life all day. I felt horrible for him.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The wide receivers that are out, they suck too.
I agree. I'm just saying, can you imagine,
yeah, you have no one to throw to.
Well, this game just means more to both these schools. And this is an embarrassing loss that hasn't
It was never even competitive.
And so you're going to get remembered as the quarterback that was the loser of that game. So, even though he is doing the Lord's work for Oklahoma, he's actually played pretty decently this year when he's come in.
He can't throw. I know he has no receivers too, but he also is not a
No, he's not a great thrower of the ball. But,
he's also a true freshman.
Yeah, he's won some tough games while he's been there in his situations. And, it's just a bummer that he's going to get remembered as the guy that just got beat the crap out of against Texas. Just what was it a few years ago? 49-0 or whatever the score was, where it's obviously this one wasn't that bad, but it kind of felt worse than the 49-0 game.
I think this is sort of indicative of what I've thought all along with OU is they did not make a mistake on the financial side of coming to the SEC. they made a mistake in the football side of it.
In the football side, they're going to do great in some other sports, but the football side is going to be.
They had to do it because of the money, but I think that like when OU was in the Big 12, they were fighting Texas pretty much, and that's it.
And they were always winning that fight.
Yeah, they were always winning that fight.
Didn't they win 19 conference titles? Texas won 3 or 2.
Yes.
Texas, no, they won 4 if you count because they won last year.
So they won 4 and
they won 4 in 30 years. Texas won 4 Big 12 titles in football in 30 years.
And they won 11 of the last 15 Red Rivers.
I think they made a mistake because I think the hard part is where they were getting these offensive guys with Lincoln Riley, yada yada. Now they're going to be trying to recruit against SEC teams that are looking for the same exact guy they're looking for, and you have to compete with every single team as opposed to like I'm handpicking whatever wide receiver I want.
And like Brent Venables or whatever, defensive guy,
bad coach.
Yeah,
but you could clearly see there was improvement in the Oklahoma defense, like right away. Because
their defense is good.
Their defense actually looks pretty decent. It's like I don't understand why the University of Oklahoma or whatever they're called can't. Under Lincoln Riley, they were like, "Hey, let's score 1,000 points and give up 1,002 points with our defense." And then with Brent Venables, they're like, we don't need to score any points. We're gonna just keep every team to 0. Like it's just like, can you get someone who will do a little bit of both?
Yeah, if they had this defense, they would probably win a national title.
We probably should have saw the writing on the wall when Dylan Gabriel was treated like a stud there. And he turned around, and within like 3 days of the season or the transfer portal opening, he's in the portal. He's going to Oregon.
Oh, I think that was planned. I think they told him Jackson Arnold was the guy.
That's crazy, dude.
That's what I think happened.
It's crazy because
you
looked at the odds, right? He's a top 5 Heisman guy now.
It's just because they won against Ohio State.
I don't think Dylan Gabriel's that good either. So
I got a receipt. I've been talking all season about how I don't think he's good.
No, I agree. I just think that the Heisman has lost what it's meant to be.
Yeah.
I think all of college football has lost what it's meant to be honest.
Well,
besides
wins or whatever, it won't matter.
No, I still think it's the best product.
No. Besides the chaos, college football has lost everything else that it's supposed to be.
Best product overall in sports. March Madness is definitely the best product itself.
No, World Cup. It's not close. World Cup and it's not close.
I don't think about. The problem is I don't consider.
If March Madness was every 4 years, then March Madness would kill the World Cup. But the Olympics, but like the Summer Olympics, not the Winter Olympics. The Winter Olympics.
I'm kind of over the Olympics at this point.
I'm over the Olympics, man. That was really cool when I was 12, but fuck it.
I'm way more into. I think the World Cup is way better than the Olympics, but I do just love watching the.
I agree with that.
I love watching the random sports of the Olympics. It's just a fun time.
I love the random sports of the Olympics, but I just don't think I'm just not into it. I'm good for about like a week and a half of it, and then I'm over it. I'm done. I'm like, all right, I can only watch this guy do this so many times before I get bored of some Hungarian dude doing a sport I've never heard of.
That's fair. Back to our Heisman Trophy debate. Is this the saddest Heisman Trophy top 5 list in a long time?
It should only one dude should be invited to New York.
2, but sure.
Well, one of them just got hurt, so that's the problem.
Okay. Well, he's playing.
Is he playing next week?
It said he's playing next week.
Okay, yeah, they're saying he's playing.
But yeah, our boy Ashton should be holding that trophy.
He did
it against Oregon. He played a good team.
They almost beat.
Yeah, they almost beat Oregon.
They were winning in the fourth quarter.
Also, watching him just stand straight up before the play.
Dude, the internet is king on that.
The internet was great with the Michael Myers memes. Were great this weekend. It was awesome.
They asked him about it, and he said, "I'm just chilling. I'm just sitting there waiting."
I mean, he knows he's gonna run people over. I mean, no one has looked this dominant as a running back since Derrick Henry at Alabama. He looks like he's playing against children.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's trying that hard.
No.
Except his numbers just are
He'll
going
break
to
like 8 tackles.
destroy Derrick Henry's.
If he gets
And I
a
understand different level of
very
talent.
different talent, but yeah.
What he had another 180 yards this weekend.
If he averaged
And he's
10
not
yards a
playing the full
carry,
game.
if he averaged 10 yards a carry this week, his yards per carry for the season would go down.
Would go down. The guy's unreal.
217 yards.
Yeah. Every week, if you look at his over under for touchdowns, it's like 3.5.
Yeah,
When did they pull him?
To score a touch anytime touchdown. It was minus 3,500.
It's insane.
The Heisman House commercials would be kind of cool with a Boise State guy in there.
It would be.
They never had one, I don't think.
Man, I mean, yeah, you go back. Boise
Kellen
State.
Moore almost had one.
Boise
State is prime
powerhouse.
BCS. Like that Boise State, Oklahoma hook and ladder. That's prime BCS football right there. That was great.
Dude proposing to his
girlfriend on the sideline. What else did they? What was the trick play they used to win the game? Statue of Liberty.
Statue
of Liberty to win the game, right?
Statue of Liberty. Boise State was so legit back in the day that I did a math project with the Boise State logo on a T95 calculator.
Nice. All right. Currently,
was that
Boise State is got a bye this week, so his odds are probably going to go down because someone else will win. But as of this moment, he has 126 carries for 1,250 yards and 17 touchdowns in 6 games.
Averaging 10 yards a carry.
And he's getting pulled out of games at halftime.
Yeah, and two of those games he did not play the second half. What blows my mind is just how defenders just bounce off of him.
Yeah. I mean, he looks like a grown man playing a JV football team.
That is what it looks like.
His stiff arm, everything.
And not even JVA. He's playing JVB.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing that exists now.
Yeah. He's playing
Thanks,
the kids
Joe Biden.
Want to play football, but they're not good enough to play football. So he's playing like the senior that couldn't make varsity, you know?
He's playing
0 fumbles and all that.
There you go. Good.
That's a crazy stat. 0 fumbles with all those
17
carries,
touchdowns,
all those yards with 17 touchdowns.
What are we like? We're about halfway through the season, correct?
Yeah, that was the halfway mark.
So he might get 34 touchdowns.
That would be nuts.
What's the record? Most rushing touchdowns.
I was about to say running back.
No, it's going to be insane.
Keenan Reynolds, most career.
Barry Sanders had 37 in 1988.
That's pretty unbelievable. And that was probably only 10 games.
I mean, I don't know. If y'all have not watched Barry Sanders at Oklahoma State, it'll change your world, man. It's great. It's a great time. I wish that we were born a little bit earlier and that Barry Sanders didn't retire so early, because just like hearing my dad talk about getting to watch him for like the worst Lions team ever. Dude was just a freak.
Hey, this is crazy. How Illinois 8 rushing touchdowns in a single game.
That's crazy.
What year was that?
1990. Remember that kid from Buffalo though? There was a kid from Buffalo in 2020.
Oh, I do remember that.
I forgot about that. I just read that, but I remember that happening.
I remember us talking about it and being like, dude, that's insane.
Man, second place is Monte Ball with 33.
He was a beast.
He was a beast in college. He was a bust in the NFL.
That happens.
And then third place is Devin Singletary.
Devin Singletary.
He had a good career.
Still
playing.
Still doing well. All right. Let's get back on track. Unless anyone else had anything else to talk about the Heisman Trophy conversation. I will say right now, all of the candidates are at plus money. So for our gamblers out there that like to bet some futures, there's good value on whoever. If you think you know who's going to win it, you got good value on all of them right now. Because there's no clear favorite. I mean, Ashton Gianti.
Who I put money on.
Ashton Gianti is the favorite, but he's plus 230. Dillon Gabriel's plus 260. Don't put your money on that. That's a loss. Dillon Gabriel hasn't put up
Plus
the
two
stats.
thirty. I'd be willing to put a lot of money on.
Travis Hunter is plus 600, so I am afraid that he's not going to play this weekend. There's no reason. He was second, and it was close pretty much all year.
Well, I think GT running for 217 yards a game, they were like, okay.
Yes. No. I agree that he should be the favorite, but I don't think that Travis Hunter should be so far behind Dillon Gabriel. I think Travis Hunter should be ahead of Dillon Gabriel.
Oh, he dropped.
Oh, yeah.
So that just makes me think that Travis Hunter's not going to play a game, is what they're thinking.
I mean, if I was him, I'm not sure I would play a game.
And for the gamblers out there also, if you want a solid, good bet,
Texas A&M national champions.
No, minus 150 for President Donald J. Trump.
Yep.
Minus 150.
What bookie are you getting that Donald Trump is the favorite?
Dude, all of it, like most of them now are Donald Trump's pulling away in it.
That just must be that.
That's just gambling.
That's all gamblers are Republicans. What that
Vegas
means right
knows,
there.
Baby.
Vegas knows. No, Vegas knows that Republicans will bet on it.
Vegas knows, bro. Kamala's going to win the popular vote because she's minus 350 for that one.
No president will ever win the popular vote.
Yeah.
I think it's actually a crime that GNT or
only
whatever.
60% of the people actually vote.
Facts.
Vote, people. It's your civic duty. Vote.
Unless you're a Democrat, then don't vote.
No, that is not the point of this message.
We don't want your damn opinions anyways, you dumbasses.
All right, Shane, please bring us back to football.
Lower taxes.
I honestly
think $7,000 in them. Fuck them.
I think it's a crime on Vegas' part that however you say his last name, is not minus money. Like, he should be minus money at this point.
There's still so much of the season that could go wrong or something could happen that, like,
if he got hurt tomorrow.
Well, or just like his numbers could definitely dwindle. Like, he's at a ridiculous pace right now.
At what point, if you're playing Boise State, are you just not leaving like 11 dudes in the box?
Because their quarterback is good.
Is he good? I haven't watched a single game.
I think
I mostly just see highlights.
He's thrown for 12 touchdowns and 2 picks. He's not bad.
That's true.
I watched a little bit of the game against the Fighting Rainbows, the
Rainbow Warriors
or whatever.
Yeah.
Too late.
Well, it was a tough watch, so I fell asleep.
All right. Pop quiz. Who has more yards this season? The Boise State quarterback throwing the football or Ashton Gianti running the football?
Running.
It's got to be throwing.
It's got to be running.
It is throwing, but it's close. The quarterback has thrown for 1,273, and he's run for 1,248.
That's crazy.
So he's 25 yards behind him.
That's crazy.
And he has 5 more.
He could break loose this week.
And he has 5 more touchdowns. Dude's a freak. All right, let's talk about some more games. Penn State came back against USC because USC can't hold a lead in the fourth quarter for like the 80th game in a row.
Lincoln Riley's a bad coach, right?
We've already done this, right? We had a whole episode called Lincoln Riley is a fraud.
That's true.
And he's still a fraud.
I'm gonna get canned too at some point.
I hated this one because James Franklin, also a fraud.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, he set up as the perfect excuse, being like, that airport's too short for us to go off of. We got to drive an hour away.
I mean,
I'm starting to think in college football there might be something to the time zone situation. I know Penn State.
Yeah, I think so.
I think there's something to the times.
No, in the NFL this season too, the time zone is a big deal.
And a lot of times, like in the NFL, if a team is playing, like, let's say in New York, then like in Carolina, they stay on the East Coast.
Yeah. I think also in college football specifically, if they've got that early kickoff on a different time zone, that body clock in the morning is a big deal.
They sleepy.
Well, these guys are scheduled. They're so scheduled in their days, pro and college, that you get off that schedule, it's gonna mess with you. Whether they want to, like, it's not an excuse to lose a game. Now, I'm not making excuses for losing football games, but it's still going to mess with you. There's no doubt about that.
Or in the NFL and international games in London, it's always the team that flies out first.
Yep.
So the Bears got there like Monday or Tuesday and had all week there, and then the Jags didn't land until Friday morning UK time. Jags looked terrible, but this week now the Jags are accustomed. I bet the Jags beat the Patriots.
Yeah.
I think there's something to it.
There's definitely something to it. I always thought the later the game was, the easier it was. But then I was thinking about it and was like, I forget who I was watching. One of these Big Ten schools go out west. Game ends at goal.
Did the game start?
I'm watching hockey.
Oh, USA plays Mexico tonight.
That's it.
Like 10 o'clock.
So we'll I always thought that if it's a late game, it's not that big of a deal. The problem is like some of these West Coast games for like an East Coast team, they end at like they're 2 a.m.
Yeah, I think there's a point. There's a point it doesn't matter, but when you get to the 10:30 game, that's when it starts mattering.
Yeah,
it's like 2:30 at night, and they're they're wide awake because this is normal for them. But then like these East Coast kids are like, hey, dude, like why is it halftime and it's 11:30?
I almost think if you're a Big Ten team traveling west, unless it's the 10:30 game, you almost have to just keep them on the same clock. Like if you play a 4 o'clock game, treat it like it's a 6 o'clock.
Yeah, 6 o'clock. Yeah, I mean, but the problem is you can't do that for an entire week and then switch them back to the East Coast to play the next week because then they're just going to wear them out.
Oh, I think this is going to be a problem they're going to have to figure out, like, colleges they don't have the freedom the NFL has because the kids have to go to class, supposedly.
Well, most kids go to online classes now.
Probably.
They don't actually take classes anymore.
They have to be back there for part of the week. So it's like NFL teams can just chill if they need, or they can get there a week early if they wanted to. Can't do that in college.
Everyone right now should go bet the house that Mexico is going to be the United States. Just letting you know.
What are the odds?
Our lineup is terrible.
It's pretty ugly odds.
We're playing in Mexico. No, if you bet Mexico,
we're playing in Mexico. I'm watching this shit.
We're playing in. Well, I mean, if we played in the United States, it would be the exact same as playing in Mexico. None of our fans come to the game.
Well, Mexico's plus 110, so it's not too bad.
I was gonna say plus 110. They're definitely gonna win. If you look at our lineup, Jordan Morris is starting a game in 2024. Like the season's over. Poch sent all of our good players back to Europe, so it's gonna be a butt kicking. Is this some random cat, Shane, or is it your cat?
That's my barn cat.
Nice.
That's Pistol.
Oh, Pistol still lives.
That's the 17th Pistol.
Huh?
Wait, is that the same Pistol you had in West Texas?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't know Pistol was still alive. I thought you got a new cat named Pistol.
No, this cat's also been burnt under the hood of a car and had to have multiple surgeries.
It's a tough
son of a gun right there.
This cat is
Don't
now I didn't pay for the surgeries. I was about to shoot it in the gas station parking lot.
Oh, there we are. Just got canceled.
Freaking PETA.
Well, that's the right thing to do.
That's humane.
Yeah.
I agree.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's how PETA feels about it.
The thing was the stupid cat was hiding in the engine of the car. That's the cat's fault.
That's the cat's fault.
I understand, but they won't feel that way. It's just trying to stay warm.
I got 5 minutes down the road, started smelling burning flesh, and I was like, what is that? It was a cat, turns out.
Hey, you know who else was a tough son of a gun? That tight end from Penn State that caught the ball like 30 times.
I didn't watch that game, but
I think he had 17 catches for like 204 yards.
Yeah, every pass went to him basically.
Is it a record?
Go look at Penn State.
No, it's tied. It tied the record.
Tied the record for tight ends.
I think for all receptions in a game.
Also, he snapped the ball and caught a touchdown on the same play. It's great. They did this weird play where he was actually the left tackle and he snapped it and then he ran a go route and then just out jumped the guy on a jump ball for a touchdown. It's like, you know what? Props.
That's some 7-on-7 shit.
That's exactly what it was.
Shoot, Penn State's schedule, though, is so favorable for themselves this year. It's unreal.
I mean, they'll play Ohio State and lose.
Yeah, they've got Ohio State. They've got Ohio State in 2 weeks.
Also, Wisconsin's kind of been kicking people in the mouth right now.
Yeah.
But
Wisconsin and Nebraska.
Nah, Nebraska's kind of I've kind of gone a little cold on Mini Mahomes over there.
That kid's annoying.
They're 5-1, man. Listen to Bussin' and the Boys this morning with President Trump.
I want to watch that.
It wasn't that great of an interview.
It wasn't that good because, listen, bro, I like Bussin' with the Boys, but those guys are complete morons.
Yeah, they are.
So when you get them and then they're asking Donald Trump questions, and it's just
not only that, old Don doesn't give the bestest of interviews. The dude's all over the map.
It was pretty damn funny.
They called it the weave, and at one point, Don was like, "You see that? That was the weave." Now I'm coming back to the question.
Now I'll go back to the question. He goes, but you gotta come back. You gotta come back because they get you on that if you don't come back to it.
You could tell they had to remind President Trump what the question was several times because he would get off on some tangent that was like,
hey, Lou Garrett. He just started talking about baseball for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the guy does.
Wally Pipp and Lou Gehrig.
Now, granted, every podcast on the planet goes on tangents. We're in
the middle of one as we speak.
Yeah.
We are having a tangent about tangents as we speak.
Gotta love it.
All right, we got to focus back up. We're over 40 minutes in. Let's talk about the two elephants in the room. The biggest elephant being the Alabama Crimson Tide. Do they freaking suck? Is Bama bad?
Yeah, I think Bama's not. I mean, they're not bad, but they're not great.
I love how Blake had to come sit back down. Blake was ready to leave. Blake was, I don't know, going to go to the bathroom or something, but he was like,
no, he was seeing if Sarah was awake.
I have a patient that played for Alabama under Bear Bryant, and I was talking to him about it on this week. Man. He told me, and he's been a coach for like a ton of colleges for like the past like 40 years, or not 40, probably 30. And
Can we name drop? Can we name drop?
Yeah, his name is
No, you can't.
Tippa.
You can't.
Yeah,
you can't. Almost got you though.
But he was telling me, he said he like talking to all of his Alabama buddies that they have like a group chat or something. And he was like, they're all talking about how this is all just a fluke and all this, and he was like, this is not a fluke. Alabama's getting beat on the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Like, from a coaching standpoint, he does not think Kalen DeBoer's doing the right stuff.
Well, I wanted him to lose solely so I could watch Alabama burn him at a stake. Like, I really think if there's one fan base in America that would actually kill a coach, that might be the one. They may burn his house down if he loses another game.
We don't condone it, but
we do not condone that. And
I do not condone it.
We also hope that if that happens, that like let's get the people out of the house. Like we hope that no one actually dies in that fire.
I just thought it was interesting from his perspective because he's so involved in the game that he was like, "This is not good."
T's and P's.
Well, it honestly, when you watch them, just from a
preemptive
gameplay,
T's and P's that's a new one. Preemptive T's and P's is a new one.
Yeah, for real. From a
sounds like you're gonna do the burning of the house.
No, I'm not. I think it would be amazing if Alabama just goes completely hog wild.
They might though. They
really might.
They may bust out the bed sheets, boys, and chase that boy out of town.
Let's reel it in. Shane, you were going to make a completely appropriate point.
No, it's just when you watch Alabama for so long, they're smart, they're disciplined. They
haven't been disciplined in years. Even under Saban's last couple of years, they weren't disciplined anymore.
That's part of the reason Saban
they would make stupid penalties every once in a while, but they're in the important parts of the game, they're gonna do what they need to do. They don't do that. They're stupid. They make dumb mistakes.
I don't get with how much talent is on their offense. How their offensive scheme isn't just simple. Let's get our guys in space.
And it's not no road. I hate to tell everyone it's not Milrow.
No, the scheme is terrible.
Milrow,
no, it's the coaching. The coaching's the problem.
They run the ball well with the running backs and with Milrow. They've got good wide receivers. I mean, one
of which is a great wide receiver.
I would absolutely kill if A&M and Alabama could switch wide receiver rooms.
In the fourth quarter, Ryan Williams had one catch for 7 yards or 2 catches for 7 yards.
And it just seems like all of their plays are like too complex instead of just like nice. It's like if you're Ohio State and you got these great wide receivers, just run a simple route tree. One of them's going to be open. Someone's going to be open on every play. Or like I don't know what it is. I haven't watched enough of their games yet to figure out. The defense is obviously struggling. Also,
defense is struggling, really. But they don't also, like on Saturday, it's like they would pull ahead and it looked like, okay, Alabama's going to take this, and then they would just let them right back in it. They would dumb decisions.
And I will say Milrow is not a quarterback that needs a complex offense. He is the problem in too complex of he needs it to be simple. It needs to be I have this read or I'm taking off.
And he'll execute that.
Correct. But like they have him sitting back there and you can literally see some of the times he's sitting there trying to figure it out. That you don't really want any of your quarterbacks to be having to like actively be thinking during a play.
Not college football.
No, even professional football. You don't want them to be actively thinking. You want them to go through their reads. That's fine. But you don't want them to be like thinking. Like thinking is slow.
The other crazy part is since like the first half of Georgia was almost like a little bit fluky in some ways.
They forced turnovers, which was rare.
It's been 10 bad quarters.
Yeah.
In a row.
But don't get it twisted. I am very happy that Alabama finally gets to know, we already said it, but they get to know what being a true sports fan is. For once, they get to.
That's what I said. You finally get to experience what it feels like to have a mortal coach.
I mean, they're still like 6-1, so I mean they're doing all right.
Yeah, but it's not like last week. Last week, it's a Nick Saban Alabama team would have come out at half, and it would have been a 30-point game by the end of it. They're not doing that. And this is you actually have to your butthole is puckered up till zero's on.
They're taking the Kansas City Chiefs approach.
Yeah, but
keep every game close.
That's what I was gonna say, but that's not your if you want to I was like it's kind of Chiefs-esque. Like you don't want to put us in the normal sports category because who cares about the regular season? I care about the postseason.
Yeah, but Chiefs
Mahomes is throwing an interception in 5 straight games, and guess what? I don't really care that much as long as he clicks in December.
We're only 6 years into this for the Chiefs, though. 7 years or whatever. This is 30 years for Alabama.
No, it's more of this is year 1. That's the problem. This is year one.
Yeah.
You can't base Alabama off of what Nick Saban did anymore.
No,
because it's a whole new program. It's not ran the same.
Yeah,
it's not.
If you're a fan though, you don't really care about any of that.
No, what you can tell. You can tell that Nick Saban doesn't approve. If you listen to Nick Saban on Game Day or the Pat McAfee show, Nick Saban definitely thinks that what Kalen DeBoer is doing is not correct.
So I was thinking this week, Kalen DeBoer is going to send a nice little invitation to Nick Saban and say, why don't you go ahead and come to practice this week? Just see what happens.
Yeah.
I guarantee you those boys that were there last year are going to straighten up.
Oh, I bet you don't have any.
You want to talk about puckered buttholes?
I would guarantee you that their practices are a lot more fun this year.
Oh, they play music, so that was a bit. I was listening to
their swag surfing all day.
Yeah, some radio show. I guess Nick Saban never let them have music on at practice. Now there's music at practice, so Alabama fans were like, they need to turn off the music.
They do. Why are we listening to music while we practice?
Dude,
we don't need that.
That reminds me of I just went blank. Big time SEC show got Paul Feinbaum.
Oh.
Bro, the calls from Alabama fans are fire right now.
Hey, legend from from Huntsville or whatever. Hilarious. Yeah. Legend went on about a 6-minute rampage against Kalen DeBoer already.
I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna search this right now.
Let's just put it this way: My whole scenario where his house might get burned down, Legend's the first people he's picking up, bro. That dude did everything but threaten his life.
Dude, I mean, you're not wrong though. You're not out of
it's
pocket
like walking in
that.
on your wife with the neighbor.
Yeah, he said, yeah. He said walking in and see your wife having sex with a neighbor, and then you take
like that's the feeling I'm having, Paul.
We talk about Legend, who's in sports hell.
Yes.
All right, I added that to the list.
Oh, dude, it's so funny.
Man,
all of the Alabama calls right now are just freaking.
Okay, but like if you go to YouTube and you search Paul Feinbaum Alabama calls, there's a lot. Like Al from Dadeville, this was 13
Al from
years
Dadeville's
ago.
a big one. He's a big one.
Admits to poisoning Toomer's corner. Like there's a
Yeah, that's old Harley.
Yeah,
Hey, look up Phyllis from somewhere. One day I was driving down the highway and there was a bad wreck. Later on, found out that was Phyllis from wherever. She was dead.
Phyllis from Mulga?
Yeah, she's dead. Rest in peace.
T's and P's, baby.
Oh,
T's and
on
P's.
the phone? She died live?
All the time. But she
didn't die live. That would
she got in a car wreck on I-20, I believe. I drove right by it.
So sad. Phyllis
T's
from
and
Mulga.
P's.
Oh,
T's
man.
and P's.
You know she's from the South. You look at that hair. It's the biggest hair you've ever seen in your life.
Hey, man.
He
Bigger
could have
hair,
been from Dallas.
guy, baby.
All right. Hey, you know who else might suck?
Hire
Georgia.
the hair.
Does Georgia suck too?
They weren't very convincing against Mississippi State, I'll tell you that.
I'm slightly worried about A&M going to Starkville this weekend.
I will say I agree with that because I think we struggle in Starkville regardless. But
Correct.
Georgia had classic look-ahead game.
I agree with that, but also we're just cursed, and now they've got confidence, and that worries me.
A guy I know was talking to me. He said, "Well, at least y'all guys got a pretty much a bye week this week." And I said, "Don't you even say such a thing."
Also, we have a look ahead week too. We got LSU next week.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, it's
so
actually
like we're in the same freaking boat.
I will say so. Last week we were looking at the schedule and we were like, "Oh, like look who we got on there. This is easy." And after this week, I was like, "This suddenly got a little more tricky."
I mean, I still think that we have 4 games that if we do not win, that is a tragedy.
I agree.
Those are game like we are 15.5 point favorites this weekend.
Just classic A&M.
Look.
Correct. I understand that Vegas, like the point spread is based off not the actual values of the team, but
what people are willing to bet.
But objectively, A&M is a better football team than Mississippi State. Maybe not on Saturday, but they are a better team. We are better than South Carolina. We are better than New Mexico State, and we are better than Auburn. Those games should be wins no matter what. Texas and LSU, that's a whole different story. But
here's my thought. I think when Texas comes to College Station, that game will be the biggest deciding game in the SEC at that moment.
I mean, yeah, it just depends on what our record is at that point in time.
I think we're gonna walk in with 1 loss to Notre Dame, and I think they're gonna walk in undefeated.
Best case scenario.
I don't know if that's best case scenario actually, because then we have to play them twice in a row, then we're out of the playoff.
We got to play them twice in a row.
But you just got to win one of them.
You got to win one of them. I agree. And if you don't win one of them, you probably don't deserve to be in the playoff. But
in the playoff, still maybe
you got to win one of them.
This is a total loser mentality, but this is the life I live. We are a better football team than Mississippi State. We should beat them by 2 touchdowns. But I still think it feels good beating Mississippi State feels good because we know the history.
If we win on a last-second field goal, I'm thrilled.
Any road SEC game you win is a good game.
I don't care.
Listen, guys, I want to go in and beat them as bad as Toledo beat them.
I agree. I'm just saying, at this point in the year where we are at, if we win all of our games by 1 point, I'm happy because then we are going to be 11-1. That's great.
Yeah, I heard people talking about like something about like back in the day you had to do kind of
you had to win with style points.
Yeah, you got style points.
You ain't got to do that anymore.
There's no style points.
Just get me into the dance. I just want to go to the playoff.
I would love to have a meaningful college football game.
I am more afraid this year than I was the year that we were ranked 5th very wrongly and we should have been in the playoff. That we're going to get screwed again. Like, I felt so confident that we were going to be in the playoff that year. This year, I just have a feeling that something's going to happen where we're going to lose to Texas close and then we're going to get pushed out.
We have no respect. They don't respect us.
No, it's because they already know that they have the Texas market with Texas. They don't need us in it. They want to get all the markets. They want all the money. That's why they want Notre Dame in the playoff.
Look, you want to talk about feeling like you're walking in on your neighbor, screwing your wife? That's how I felt in 2020 with that ranking. But
the legend from Alabama felt that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, right. But this is it feels like it's all. I mean, I was looking at it today or yesterday. We lost to Notre Dame. That's the only team we've lost. We won every other game. Sure, they didn't all look pretty, but we still have no respect. There's teams ranked ahead of us that have one loss that are way worse football teams, and it's fine.
I actually disagree. I think the people that actually know what to talk about have been saying that A&M suddenly has a path to playoff.
Yeah,
no, I agree with that. I'm saying, and I'm fine with how they have us ranked because I look at the situations of the teams, and I'm fine with everyone that's ahead of us for now.
Out.
I don't think that they will end up ahead of us, some of them, but I understand BYU at 6-0. They're undefeated. They're Big 12 champions right now. Sure, and them and Iowa State are both 6-0. Sure, they're ahead of us. Notre Dame has to be ahead of us. They beat us, and we have the same record. I'm fine with that. Clemson, dude, they beat us at our home stadium.
I'm not saying we should be ranked above Notre Dame, but I do think we objectively, as a ranking system, the people that do this, just because you're an undefeated Iowa State or something, does not mean you're.
Right now, none of them are the college football playoff rankings.
I know.
For the AP rankings, I'm fine. You're undefeated in a Big 4 conference. You deserve to be up ahead.
You're trusting a bunch of Nimrods to rank the teams that don't even watch football. So
yeah. Well,
I know it's just
they just pick and choose what games they watch each week. That's what bothers me about the AP. They don't watch all the games because it's impossible to watch all the games.
I mean, Shane, I agree with you. I understand what you're saying. I think that we objectively are a better team than Miami. Miami has showed that they are gonna
but it's just
have problems, and Miami's 6-0, so they're ahead of us.
Maybe it's just because I still got to go to my measly little stupid job every day, and I can watch football and watch most games, and I could put together a top 25 that it doesn't matter about. It should be ranked week on week basis. I'm going to be able to tell you if this team is better than that team. And
you can't do week to week though, because
maybe not week to week, but you can see the progression in a team throughout the season and what they show, and they just prove week after week that they don't watch
A&M
football.
Though we haven't seen that progression because we start terrible, then obviously we beat a cupcake team, but we for a while I would say our defense has progressed, but our offense took steps backwards because we didn't have Connor and Marcel.
Yeah, but you're
played good for one game, but then didn't really look great for other games. We struggled to run the ball in some games, and then we did have obviously one amazing game when Connor comes back on offense. But it would not entirely shock me if in the next game our offense looks piss poor.
Oh, he's not. Let's be honest. He's not going to play most likely how he played against Missouri. He's going to have a step back, but it's not even A&M though. It's not even A&M.
He better look that good against Mississippi
State. I think he's going to look really good on Saturday, boys.
He better, because Mississippi State's defense is open door. They just say everyone's allowed in.
Well, that's true. I'm probably just bitter because I'm like, I could rank better.
Dang, you need to look at you need to only consider the Josh Pate poll.
Yeah,
I do look at Josh Pate poll.
I literally just typed in Josh Pate power rankings.
Yeah.
because he does power rankings. He doesn't do.
Shane needs to use that one.
I get it on Instagram every Monday or whatever he puts it out.
Yeah. What week do they do the first college football playoff bowl?
This week.
2 weeks.
This week, okay, because this is the one. Like that's where it matters.
Nope, not true. It's the Tuesday after we get back from Shreveport.
Okay, like that's the week. That's the week where it matters to know where we're at. Where we need to know if we're going to be in trouble and we have to hope for other teams to lose, or if we're sitting in a good spot. Because I do think that we could get ranked ahead of some of these teams that are ahead of us in the AP poll by that time.
If you win the next 2 weeks, you're probably top 8.
Oh, I mean, yeah. If we beat LSU, who is currently the 8th ranked team, we will be up there for sure.
Just win. That's what I always say.
Just win. I don't even care if it's by 1. Let's just win, baby.
Don't care.
All right, let's fly through the rest of these. We had 2 overtime games in the SEC, which was great. LSU beats Ole Miss in overtime. It was a great game.
Dead.
Ole Miss is dead. LSU at night was looking real fun.
LSU honestly didn't look that good either.
No, but that stadium looked like a great place to be.
No, for sure the environment was great, but the team, they don't look that. They got dominated in every facet of the game besides score.
Yep. And then
couldn't score in the red zone.
We were talking about this live in our group chat this week as well. Is Tennessee dead? What happened to Tennessee's offense? The Tennessee's offense is dead. Their defense is so good, but their offense is like very dead.
Dead. I don't know. Nico can't. I mean, they had a couple
people figured out Nico.
People figured out Nico. I don't even know if Nico's on the Heisman Trophy list anymore.
He had a couple of deep throws that were just straight up dropped, but other than that, yeah, their offense does not look that
Nico
good.
is now at plus 15,000.
Yeah, he's done.
He's behind Avery Johnson. That's sad.
He only threw for like 160 yards.
Yeah, they looked bad.
Past 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah. Arkansas is a good spoiler team for the SEC this year, though.
Arkansas looks like a team that, like Arkansas and South Carolina, I feel like are in the same boat where they are like better teams than what their records are.
They are teams that are against the big teams. They're probably going to show up and they're going to play it close, but they're going to lose to the small teams because they don't feel motivated to play. I think that's what it comes down to.
Could be. South Carolina could very easily be 5-1 right now.
For sure. All right, that's a lot of SEC stuff. We kind of mentioned it earlier. BYU and Iowa State are both undefeated in the Big 12. That's kind of interesting. I definitely did not see BYU being this good. That's a surprise for the season.
With a Jewish quarterback.
Yeah, that is a fact. And the place to stop, it's always a good place for us to stop. The Colorado Buffaloes.
Dead.
They lost at home to K-State, who K-State is a rough watch if you haven't watched any of their games.
I fell asleep when it was like 20. It was like 24-13 or something, or 10 or 7.
I am a big fan of the K-State wide receiver catching the game-winning touchdown just right in front of like the celebrity section and just staring at him. That's a great. It's not as good as the assassination celebration that we discussed last week. But just getting to look at a bunch of fair weather celebrity fans that are just there to get their name in the news and on TV.
Never watch college football in their life.
And have no relation to Deion Sanders or the University of Colorado. And him just to catch
Shiloh
the ball.
getting his ankles broke never hurts.
That's hilarious.
Your dad publicly saying that you sucked in a press conference got hurt.
Yeah.
That was
okay. No, he also publicly stated he's his least favorite son. Like, I don't care what people say. Deion's not a good parent. Deion's not a good dad. Deion's kind of a shitty human being.
I mean, I don't know who says that Deion's a good parent. He's basically the LeVar Ball of football.
He just happens to coach.
Man, also speaking of that,
what happened to LeVar?
Total tangent. What the heck happened to LeVar Ball? His sons are still in the league.
He's got kids in the league.
But did he get blacklisted?
Probably.
Yeah, he did get blacklisted from the NBA. They won't let him.
Did Adam Silver just say like you're not allowed anymore? I almost said David Stern. That would have been bad.
This man hasn't posted on Instagram since.
Oh, is he dead? Did they just
March.
kill him?
Yeah, David Stern's been dead for a decade.
No, not David Stern. LeVar Ball.
No, he's not dead.
You don't know. He might be dead.
No, I feel like that would have been news.
No.
With the Clinton.
No. They did the Avril Lavigne. They replaced him with a body double.
Yeah, he's with the Clinton.
Oh, the Joe Biden.
Obama.
Joe Biden.
He probably went to a couple Diddy parties and he's trying to lay low.
Allegedly.
It is alleged, but also he might allegedly be dead. We hope he's not.
LaMelo Ball coming back this week.
Dude, if you want a good watch, folks, listeners, if you want a good watch, go on YouTube.
Yes.
Watch Ball in the family. It is a quality watch. I mean,
me and Shane used to watch it every week, and we would talk about it on the phone on the drive home.
I would watch it too. I used to watch it every single week.
It's a great show.
So good.
Dude is a straight up psychopath, but you know what? Whatever gets your sons into the league, I guess.
I didn't know anyone else watched that show.
Oh yeah. Shane and I literally would watch it and then call each other to talk about the episode.
I wish that never got canceled. That was quality entertainment.
Oh, dude, LaMelo was so funny.
Yeah. It was a great show.
All right. Oh, there we go.
Never got my Big Baller brand tinnies, though. That never came to fruition.
No, bummer.
I'm sure you can get them on the discount now.
No, his boy Allen went to prison over all that.
Yeah.
Sad deal.
I mean, not that sad. Got two sons into the league.
I just don't know if they talk to him. I don't know if they talk to their dad. Like, he's not on the sidelines.
I mean, they don't talk to him because he's dead, allegedly.
No, he's not dead.
He's replaced with a body double.
It's a good chance they all hate each other at this rate.
That is possible.
Or Ball.
Man, it could be possible that LeVar's just like constantly asking them for money. I could see that being true for sure.
For sure.
Man, I spent my last allowance. Can I get an advance on this month's allowance?
Him and Daddy Mahomes probably hang out.
Oh, don't put that juju on me. Can't have that.
No, Daddy Mahomes can't drive anymore. They took his license, so LeVar
picks him up.
My man got a little fun.
I mean, he can afford an Uber. He could Uber everywhere he wanted to go for the rest of his life, and he could afford that.
We've been saying that forever. If you make it to any league, do not drive drunk.
Only if you make it to a league, huh?
I mean, I'm not doing.
Mike Gundy's done it thousands of times. So
yeah, I'm not doing the Uber thing if I'm like a rookie person in, the NFL. But like one of those buddies that like is from like your hometown that when it's off season and you go get arrested with them like they all do, like just give one of them a job. Hey, your job is to be my driver.
Yeah. You drive. You're driving because I'm drinking.
If we get pulled over, you're taking the rap for the weed, and you're driving me wherever I need to go.
Just not even that. Just like, hey, I can be on my phone with my agent or my coach, or I can be watching film. Just like, I'm going to maximize my time in the car.
That would be smart, Austin. Let's be honest. Let's take into account the humans we're talking about.
Yeah, no, I like my take. You're driving, I'm drinking.
Yeah, or
Austin, you know what you're doing to Shreveport? You're driving. I'm drinking Powerade.
No, we're taking an Uber in Shreveport.
Oh no, I meant from Dallas to Shreveport. I thought you were saying
that's fine. That's fine.
That's going to be the most.
No, sorry, I will drive. I will drive us from Dallas to Shreveport, no problem. But I am definitely.
You're driving. I'm drinking Powerade.
Once we get into Shreveport, I am not going to be.
It's legal to drink and drive in Louisiana. That's the thing about Louisiana.
Look, it's also not illegal to drink and drive. Just don't be over the limit.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's an open container. It's just a ticket.
Well, that's $500.
You can pay those off on payments. You don't even have to give $500 up front.
You go sit 2 nights in jail on a weekend.
All right. That's enough of this. It's time to talk about other degenerate things like sports gambling. Man, I wish that I could just get my picks right that we pick here on these Tuesday nights when we film them. I wish that everyone knew the heater I was on this weekend because I missed 2 bets all weekend and was perfect all the way through. Saturday, college football slate, perfect slate. I had to make sure I didn't say the word perfect as I was describing it to people to not jinx myself. Perfect slate. Sunday, near perfect slate. It was a great day. Great weekend of gambling. But of course, all my picks that we make on this random Tuesday night before I've got to do my deep dives was not good. And we went 500 as a podcast as we do most weeks. And that brings Shane and I are currently tied for last place with 8 wins. Blake in second place with 9 wins. Jonathan in first place with 10 wins. So it's anybody's game. Shane has already made his comeback. So I'm afraid that he's going to end up winning this season by like 40 because he started much earlier.
Start early, baby.
He'll have another fall off.
Yeah, that's true.
Not worried about it.
This week though, we got a pretty tough slate in my opinion across both boards. At least on this random Tuesday.
Vegas lost some money last week, so they're trying to make it back.
Vegas did lose some money. We got some good tough games where it's anyone's game. Probably going to be safe if you think about it because we got a bunch of probably tightly contested games. Probably safe to bet the dogs this week, but where's the fun in that sometimes?
Yeah.
So this week,
really good games.
This week, I am going to be taking Texas Longhorns -3.5 over the Georgia Bulldogs. Obviously, if I was going to actually bet this, I would buy it down to 2.5. I don't like the hook, but that's not how this works. And in my second pick, I'm going to get the hook on my favor because I'm taking the Miami Dolphins +3.5. Are they the worst football team? I don't think so. So I think that they can cover. I don't think they will win. And the Eagles have beat the Giants like 40 times in a row. So I'm taking the Eagles -2.5 at New York, even though the Eagles are the biggest bad vibes team in the NFL right now.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But besides the Browns are obviously the biggest bad vibes team in the NFL. But history is on the Eagles side, so I'm going with them. I don't care. I guess I can just read them all off. Blake's taking the Falcons -3, the Lions +2.5 at Minnesota, and the Ravens -3.5. I forgot who they're playing, but they're on a roll. More on that on tomorrow's episode, because the worldwide leader is back onto the Ravens bandwagon. It's good times. Shane, on his magical comeback run, is taking the Missouri Tigers -4.5 at home against Auburn. South Carolina +2.5. And then the Houston Texans +3 at Green Bay. And Jonathan was not here before the show, so I have no idea who he picked. So he's going to say his own.
It's going to be a wild week, boys, because my first game is tomorrow night.
All right.
We are taking Sam Houston State. Let's go, Cats.
Wednesday football.
At -2.5 against Western Kentucky. And then we are going to take the BYU Cougars -9.5 points against Oklahoma State.
Dude, did someone get injured? That game jumped up a ton. That game was at -6.5 earlier today.
It's because Oklahoma State is Dookie water. They're terrible.
That is true.
All right. I'm going against Austin.
Georgia.
I will be taking the Georgia Bulldogs +3.5. They're going to give Texas their first loss. We're walking into a game, boys, in November against the rivals at 1 loss apiece. Let's go, boys.
All right.
Here we go.
Man, speaking of random college football in the middle of a week, Kennesaw State and Middle Tennessee are currently in a game in the fourth quarter where the score is 14-5.
It was 7-2 long time.
14-5. It was 7-2 for like an hour.
Yeah.
What a game. I'm out here watching Louisiana Tech.
0-5. Oh, well, that's probably a better game.
State.
The 0-5 Kennesaw State is currently losing to 1-5 Middle Tennessee 14-5. So that's good times.
Yeah, we just went into halftime. Louisiana Tech 14, New Mexico State 10.
You can tune in to USA versus Mexico. It started.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about
All right.
I'm watching Stars right now, so
I just want to see the fans throw all this shit on the field.
We'll do a quick. As of the time that we are taping this right now, the Yankees are dominating the Guardians 6-2. There we go. That's been your baseball update. Thank y'all for joining us on the Football is King podcast. We will see y'all tomorrow for all things NFL Week 6. We now know who is good, who is bad. So if you would like to hear our opinions on that, tune in to tomorrow's episode. We appreciate y'all for listening. Thanks for liking and subscribing and all the things. We'll see y'all next week. Make good choices.